So while we're obsessing over what pedals sound good and what amps sound good and what guitar am I going to use, and will somebody notice if I'm using size 10 strings over size 9 and if I've got humbuckers and single coils, we're plugged into a PA system and then that's got to go out into the audience, right? So does anybody ever think about that? This video is aimed at people who do live work, and it might be solo work with your guitar, or it might be going out and playing in your band. There are gigs that are advertised where they'll expect the guitar player to have a PA system, or they'll expect the band to provide a PA system. And when you start doing that, then you start having to carry it, load it in, wait for the lead singer to just disappear when it's time to sort of put things back in the car. When we do that, we have to try and guarantee a good sound to the audience, and it's always a stress because unless you've got somebody doing the sound for you that's in the band, one of you might be managing that, and at many levels you're kind of still in that position. So this is where the column speakers come in. There's three reasons why I think these are a game changer from the normal and larger PA systems. Number one, they don't seem to feed back. So I bet you could get it to feed back if you really wanted to, but the way the speakers are arranged, your microphones aren't going directly into the speakers. So I thought that was absolutely amazing. And in this gig here, our lead singers were in the audience, literally in the audience, singing, and the speakers and the PA system were behind the singers at all times, so then monitoring wasn't so much of a big thing. Number two, the weight and the size. So here is a situation where that happened last week. I played 4 gigs last week, and the first gig, the PA, there was a team that did the PA for us. They were hired in for somebody's wedding, did a fantastic job. We didn't have to carry any of that stuff around or deal with it. It was just in-ear pack handed to us and off we went. The second 2 gigs were, one was a pub, one was a function. We had to unload the 3K rig, and it was a real stress for everybody. We had to combine bits of equipment, and it was heavy, and we had to unload it and load it and that kind of thing. And actually our singers helped with that one, which was great. The 5th gig was a bit of a it was great, but in terms of knowing what was going to happen prior to that, we had to be really adaptable. So what happened in the end was I had to load my own van with the singer's PA, and we had to get ourselves, it was my V-dub van. It's a little camper. We had 6 people plus a drum kit, plus a PA, plus keyboards, bass, some small amps to help with that, and we had to drive to Amsterdam, get on a boat, and on the boat in Amsterdam, it was an amazing event, but we had to then set up on there. So the reason why for me a system like this is so special is essentially the pack down time So there are essentially, without the mixer, there's like 4 components. So I've got this top tower, the bottom tower, sometimes you get 3 columns or towers, and then I've got this bass unit for this one. Everything comes out the bass unit, and the sub, which is separate. Sometimes you can get systems with the sub and everything plugs into the sub, which is probably even less hassle. That would be where my input would go, be a mono input, and this would go out into where some of the mixer information would go, sorry, into there. So into here's where the mixer is normally plugged in. You've got a standard kind of speak on cable here, which goes into the sub and powers the sub, and you have a normal kettle lead. So these things are quite ubiquitous. If there's a problem on the road, you can find a way to fix that. And it's as simple as this column will come out. I'm doing this with one hand, okay? So as you can see there, that is extremely easy. The columns aren't that heavy either. And the second one will come out of the bass unit like so. Very easy and straightforward. Put that down very carefully, and that is the unit in its pieces. The bass isn't connected in any way, it's just the way I've positioned it. And then this, what I'm going to do for now is just move the bass unit. The legs all fold in one movement, so what you've got to do is make sure that I remove the legs, and then if I just press one down, it will press all the other ones down, and it literally folds up into one small thing there. So everything is cased up and ready, and the great thing is when you case this stuff up, it will protect it from being scratched, and it's ready to go. So I am a sucker for things that are easy to set up and pack down, especially packing down. Most gigs you want to be getting away, you want to be getting home. You don't want to spend too much time on that. Thirdly, you've got the way the sound works. It doesn't have to be that loud for the sound to get everywhere, and this is what makes it a game changer. The speakers are angled in a way that they project the sound, and the sound can be heard by everybody everywhere from one speaker, one column, and that's what really makes the difference. So I think looking at the specifications of the thing, the peak sound pressure levels that come out around 120 decibels, which is really loud if you need it to be. But the system wasn't even on half, and we were projecting that, and I could hear it as we were going across the river. I could hear the vocals sort of bouncing off the river and echoing back to us. It was a really powerful, clear sound, and it didn't need a lot of EQ really to get that sound right. It was just absolutely amazing. So later on in that day, there was a solo guitarist, and the solo guitarist had some backing tracks, and he was using a UAFX Dream straight into that PA system, and the tone was absolutely incredible. So right there you can see that the sound can be really well managed, really adaptable. So as a guitarist, where would this come in? So here's a little demo of what it sounds like with my with an electric guitar. I'm just using a Tonex as my sort of amp modeler, as my capture device, and you'll hear here that the sound is just, it's big, it sounds like there's cabinets, it sounds like you're immersed in that sound. And so you'll notice there, it kind of sounds, that's using an iPhone speaker, so iPhone microphone, because it's quite a good way to get close to kind of what you'd hear in the room. It was probably about 3 or 4 meters away. What I'm going to do now is show you the acoustic guitar. So I've just plugged in my guitar directly in, and listen to it. It picks up all those sounds. I mean, I do something quite percussive because the way that guitar works is it's got a transducer in the body, so you can hear all the sounds that come out of the guitar. And there you go. Isn't that an interesting thing? So you could set that up in seconds. You could get to the show. Now here's the thing. That's a Bose system. It's the Mark II of what's come of the L1 system. So they've kind of at the Mark III systems now. So it's slightly different. But the mixer that they use is the same. I didn't use the mixer in this situation. I just plugged straight in. But the concept is really interesting. And if you're a guitar player, you know, for me, I've had a PA system as a guitarist for the last getting on for 8 years now. So I've had that set up in my studio, and I use it for rehearsals. I use it all the time, and literally, quite a lot of gigs, people will say, "Oh, can you bring this piece of your PA system?" Sometimes it's just my mixer, but people tend to find it useful that I have access to this stuff. And I'm seriously considering now in selling my larger subs and tops, which are really heavy, active things, great sounding, but if I had a line array system, it'd be much more portable, much more easier to set up, and we could service more with that. We could do more with our sound. So I'm starting a duo up soon, and again for the duo that would be perfect. So yeah, a lot of guitar players, yes, we're using modelers, yes, you're using amps, but what are you plugging it into? What are you using there to get that sound? I think considering understanding PA systems and things like that would be really useful for you. To that end, that's it. So these videos are brought to you by people who subscribe. That's all I ask, and watch the videos. So there you go. If you liked it, check it out, and if you like the video, subscribe, and see you next time.